Letter 530 by Charles Lamb. Feb. 22nd, 1831. Dear Dyer, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Rogers's friends are perfectly assured that you never intended any harm by an innocent couplet, and that in the revivification of it by blundering Barker you had no hand whatever. To imagine that, at this time of day, Rogers broods over a fantastic expression of more than 30 years standing would be to suppose him indulging his pleasures of memory with a vengeance. You never penned a line which for its own sake you need, dying, wish to blot. You mistake your heart if you think you can write a lampoon. Your whips are rods of roses. Your spleen has ever had for its objects vices, not the vicious abstract offenses, not the concrete sinner. But you are sensitive, and wince as much at the consciousness of having committed a compliment as another man would at the perpetration of an affront. But do not lug me into the same soreness of conscience with yourself. I maintain, and will to the last hour, that I never rid of you but con amore, that if any allusion was made to your nearsightedness, it was not for the purpose of mocking an infirmity, but of connecting it with scholar-like habits. For is it not erudite and scholarly to be somewhat near of sight, before age naturally brings on the malady? You could not then plead the obrepens senectus. Did I not moreover make it an apology for a certain absence, which some of your friends may have experienced, when you have not on a sudden made recognition of them in a casual street meeting? And did I not strengthen your excuse for this slowness of recognition, by further accounting morally for the present engagement of your mind in worthy objects? Did I not, in your person, make the handsomest apology for absent-of-mind people that was ever made? If these things be not so, I never knew what I wrote or meant by my writing, and have been penning libels all my life without being aware of it. Does it follow that I should have expressed myself exactly in the same way of those dear old eyes of yours now? Now that Father Time has conspired with a hard taskmaster to put a last extinguisher upon them. I should as soon have insulted the answerer of Salmasius, when he awoke up from his ended task and saw no more with mortal vision. But you are many films removed yet from Milton's calamity. You write perfectly intelligibly. Mary, the letters are not all of the same size or tallness, but that only shows your proficiency in the hand's text, German hand, court hand, sometimes law hand, and affords variety. You pen better than you did a 12-month ago. And if you continue to improve, you bid fair to win the golden pen, which is the prize at your young gentleman's academy. But you must beware of Valpy and his printing house, that hazy cave of Trophonius, out of which it was a mercy that you escaped with a glimmer. Beware of MSS and very elections. Settle the text for once in your mind and stick to it. You have some years' good sight in you yet if you do not tamper with it. It is not for you, for us I should say, to go pouring into Greek contractions and stargazing upon slim Hebrew points. We have yet the sight of sun and moon and star throughout the year, and man and woman. You have vision enough to discern Mrs. Dyer from the other comely gentlewoman who lives up at staircase number 5. Or, if you should make a blunder in the twilight, Mrs. Dyer has too much good sense to be jealous for a mere effect of imperfect optics. But don't try to write the Lord's Prayer, Creed, and 10 Commandments in the compass of a halfpenny, nor run after a midge or a mote to catch it, and leave off hunting for needles in bushels of hay, for all these things strain the eyes. The snow is 6 feet deep in some parts here. I must put on jack boots to get at the post office with this. It is not good for weak eyes to pore upon snow too much. It lies in drifts. I wonder what its drift is, only that it makes good pancakes, remind Mrs. Dyer. It turns a pretty green world into a white one. It glares too much for an innocent color, methinks. I wonder why you think I dislike gilt edges. They set off a letter marvelously. Yours, for instance, looks for all the world like a tablet of curious hieroglyphics in a gold frame. But don't go and lay this to your eyes. You always wrote hieroglyphically, yet not to come up to the mystical notations and conjuring characters of Dr. Parr. You never wrote what I call a schoolmaster's hand like Clark, nor a woman's hand like Southey, nor a missile hand like Porson, nor an all of the wrong side sloping hand like Miss Hayes, nor a dogmatic, mid-end Persian peremptory hand like Rickman, but you ever wrote what I call a Grecian's hand, what the Grecians write or used at Christ's Hospital, such as Whalley would have admired and Boyer have applauded, but Smith or Atwood, writing masters, would have horsed you for. Your boy of genius hand and your mercantile hand are various. By your flourishes, I should think you never learned to make eagles or corkscrews, or flourish the governor's names in the writing school, and by the tenor and cut of your letters I suspect you were never in it at all. By the length of this scrawl, you will think I have a design upon your optics, but I have writ as large as I could out of respect to them. Too large, indeed, for beauty. Mine is a sort of deputy Grecian's hand, a little better, and more of a worldly hand than a Grecian's, but still remote from the mercantile. I don't know how it is, but I keep my rank in fancy still since school days. I can never forget I was a deputy Grecian. And writing to you, or to Coleridge, besides affection, I feel a reverential deference as to Grecians still. I keep my soaring way above the great Erasmians, yet far beneath the other. Alas, what am I now? What is a Leadenhall clerk or India pensioner to a deputy Grecian? How art thou fallen, O Lucifer, just room for our loves to Mrs. D and C. I never rid of you but con amore. Lamb refers particularly to the Elia essay, Oxford in the Vacation, in the London Magazine, where G.D.'s absence of mind and simplicity of character were dwelt upon more intimately than Dyer liked, see Vol. Roman 2. Dyer was gradually going blind. The answer of Salmasius, Milton. Comely Mrs. Dyer, but in the letter to Mrs. Shelley, Mrs. D had been plain. Dyer had been a Grecian before Lamb was born. Clark would be Charles Cowden Clark, with whose father Dyer had been an usher. Miss Hayes we have met. The Rev. Peter Whalley was upper grammar master in Dyer's day. Boyer, Lamb and Coleridge's master, succeeded him in 1776. Smith was writing master at the end of the 17th century. Lamb had never become a Grecian, having an impediment in his speech which made it impossible that he should take orders, the natural fate of Grecians, with profit. Great Erasmus and Little Erasmus are still the names of classes in the Bluecoat School. Grecians were the Little Erasmians. Here should come a letter from Lamb to P.G. Patmore, dated April 10, 1831, in which Lamb says of the publisher of the new monthly magazine, "Nature never wrote knave upon a face more legible than upon that fellow's. Coal burn him in Beelzebub's deepest pit." I can promise little help if you mean literary, when I reflect that for 5 years I have been feeling the necessity of scribbling but have never found the power. Moxon is my go-between, call on him, 63 new bonds sent. He is a very good fellow, and the bookseller is not yet burned into him. Patmore was seeking a publisher for, I imagine, his Chatsworth. Here should come a letter from Lamb, dated April 13, 1831, which Canon Anger considers was written to Gary and Mr. Hazlitt to Coleridge. It states that Lamb is daily expecting Wordsworth.